All right, welcome to another episode of Old Gold. This week we've got a really good one for you. You all know my fearless leader Jeremy Gray, our CEO, and you've all seen Enrique before on a few of the episodes we've done. One thing that you guys might not be aware of is that Enrique was just named the new CEO of our Pilar Gold mine in Brazil. So today we're going to be talking about that a little bit. As you might know or you might not know, Pilar Gold is one of the pillars of Chancery royalty. So it's a very important project. It's something that we have to get right in order for things to go forward for Chancery. So it's a very important project for us. We're going to talk about that today. So Jeremy, you can take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. Thanks, Old Gold. Just, yeah, very proud to announce last week that Enrique stepped up as CEO of Pilar Gold. It's a really exciting challenge for such a young man, and I think he's the absolute perfect choice to take Pilar forward and to turn it into a very, very successful company. So, um, I've been working with Enrique now for 18, nearly 2 years actually, but when we were working on the Tucano deal when he worked with Starboard and in Sao Paulo and Madrid. And I just realized he's got a really he's got the talent, and I think with his languages, with his dedication, his finance background, his private equity background, this is the time where Pilar does start to really break from the pack. It's got a restructured balance sheet. We're ordering a lot of new fleet from Resumen, Sotrec, from JCHX in China, and it also allows me to be 100% focused also on Chancery royalty, which is becoming such a success, as you know, Eric. I've just been blown away by the response from investors and how quickly we are growing. So you've got to know when to step aside, and I think this is the fourth time we've actually done this now and brought in a professional like Enrique. We did it, obviously, we appointed John and Sean to run our live business in Finland, which is listing actually, I think, next week, finally. We appointed Shaw, Niels and also Svein Harold to run Gold Road in Arizona, and that's listing in Oslo in the middle of June, which is really exciting. Also, Tucano, I was there last week. Wow, that was a very special trip for me to go back to Tucano and see what a tremendous operation that's turning into. And we also brought in our Starboard partners to let run that day to day. And this is just our final appointment now for Enrique to bring in a professional to run the business so we can focus on the royalties and turn that into the next Versamet or Elemental. So, Enrique, over to you, mate. Yeah, congratulations on the appointment, and I know you're going to do an outstanding job.
First of all, thank you very much, Jeremy and Eric, for the kind words. I'm very happy taking over this position because there is exciting times indeed. And first of all, I would like to congratulate Jeremy with all of the hard work he's put into making Pilar a success since the acquisition of Pilar back in 2021. Uh, there's been hard times, everybody knows that. Not only the bare gold market from years ago, but also these specific problems that Pilar had on site. But with the excellent team, excellent Brazilian talent team that we have there at PGD and on site, I believe that we are in conditions to restart producing in 3 to 4 months time. Let's say September, October. So we could grant a medium-term goal of 40,000 ounces of gold yearly, and longer term goal of 80,000 ounces of gold. Yeah, you can see that with the current gold prices, it would be fantastic revenue and value creation for our shareholders. And of course, one of the other objectives is just to run readiness for listing in the market before year end, Eric. So I think, yeah, we are ready to go at Pilar. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and of course, it would be fantastic for Chancery Royalty as well, Jerry.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. I think Enrique could have taken the reins at a better time because obviously we went through the restructuring, we restructured the whole balance sheet. We went through, obviously, the last gold pour was in March of 24 when gold was only about $2,000 an ounce. So then we went through the tough times. The Pilar mine flooded. We now realize what that means because we spent 12 months pumping that out. The mine's now in excellent condition, ready for turning on. We're replacing all the underground safety cabins at the moment that got needed full repair. And now with the gold price at 4,500 and ready to launch, I think soon to 7,000. And I know I've been saying that for a while, 7,000 by Christmas. What a time to turn it on. So, really happy about Enrique's appointment, and I think it's the absolute right time to bring in a young pro like this. I say, I think Enrique's got the chance to become the next Rodrigo Barbosa of the Brazilian gold industry, like Rodrigo's tremendous success with Aura Minerals, and we have a launching pad to build a very large gold group. Pilar was built in 2012 by Yamana. It's 3 underground mines, all basically on care and maintenance. A world-class deposit, Tres Barracas, and just so excited. And we're also bringing Mario back, Mario Maneco 64, as you know, back on site soon. So it's going to be a really exciting couple of months ahead, I think, for Enrique.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward into welcoming you guys on site with Mario's trip back home after these 15 years, I believe. Which I know Brazilians, and they always want to go back home. It's I'm Spanish myself. I think it's more like a Latin American Spanish thing, Mediterranean lifestyle. So I can really understand his situation. But of course, Eric, Jeremy, please come to site. Any potential investor that would be interested in visiting us is more than welcome. You can just contact Eric with the information he can provide. Again, I know I've said this before, but it's exciting times, and the mine is all ready. The processing plant is ready. You can actually see everything here because the Pilar mine is right next to the processing plant, so you can just visit the complex itself. You can go to the mine, visit the plant in the same morning. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, we haven't set the final dates yet. I've talked to Jeremy about this, but it looks like possibly maybe mid-July is a time when myself and Mario and Jeremy and probably the majority of our team are going to be there on site. As you mentioned, any investors that are interested in joining that trip and seeing the mine, feel free to contact any of us on the team. You can always click the link down below, and we'll get in touch with you. And if you're interested, we can give you the details. We can set things up, and you're welcome to come with us. It's very similar, I suppose, to the trip that I did in Korea. I took a group of, I guess, in the end, there were a group of 10 of us, and there were some really good investors, and that was an excellent trip. Mario also came on that one. Fantastic trip, but we're going to do one to come and see everyone there in Brazil at Pilar. So that will be a great trip. I've never been to Brazil, and I've always wanted to go, so I'm quite excited about that, actually.
It is the greatest country in the world. It really is. It's been so good to us. We went through tough times both at Pilar and Tucano, and now I tell you, going back to Tucano made me realize how special Pilar can become very quickly. Last time I was at Tucano, which is the old Beadle Resources Great Panther mine up in Amapá. We were doing it pretty tough up there, and now look at it. Wow, it's producing gold. The governor of Amapá came to the opening ceremony on Friday last week. Ivan, Renan, the whole team, Renato, incredible job up there. And I just want to replicate that same success now at Pilar. And I think that trip really invigorated and motivated me to say, right, now it's Pilar's turn to do exactly the same. And the difference is Pilar's very easy to get to. So it's only an hour and 40-minute flight from Sao Paulo to Goiânia, and then a nice drive through the countryside past lots of cows, and it's a beautiful part of Brazil. When you go to Tucano, it's quite a journey. It's actually in the northern hemisphere is our mine at Tucano, whereas Pilar is a very central hub. And just going back to that point that Enrique was saying about Brazilians always like to come home. They're coming home now to Itapaci, to Pilar de Goiás. They want to be part of this exciting, it's a great success that Pilar is going to become PGDM. So we really welcome anyone to come back. And, we've just hired our old CFO, haven't we, Enrique? Our old CFO, Rafael, is coming back after being away for 2 years now. He's a key hire for us, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and this is also part of our objective of just making Pilar shine again, right? Just making everything in place, not only for production, but also so it can be clean on the structure so it can be listed. Which I believe, Jeremy, this is what we have always promised in order to bring the value back to our investors and shareholders. Not only that, but also just to create itself. We believe there is an immense potential for Pilar to be, what would you say, Jeremy? I would say, US 800 to 1 billion market cap. I mean,
Well, yeah,
it's,
look, like you said it the other day, Enrique. I mean, if, and I think we need to do that. We need to remodel the resource to update the 43-101, don't we? Anyway, and the last
Mhm.
time those 4.1 million ounces were modeled at 1650. So if we were to reduce the cutoff grade, maybe model it at 3000, I'm sure you're going to get a 5 or 6 million ounce handle on the new update for resource, which is big, right? 5 to 6 million ounces
Oh,
is not
just
shabby at all, right?
Just imagine that. Just imagine that. And there is still their journey because there has not been significant mining since 2021 when the last technical report was updated. So it would be just an immediate creation of value just based on the current market perspective. And not only that, Jeremy,
Well,
there's also the potential in the mines themselves that have not been explored, has not been explored yet. Uh, Res Buracos and the rest of the underground mines. They're just fantastic.
like funny, you actually even talked, Enrique, about Trey Baracus one day becoming an underground mine. I never even thought about that. And because it's obviously a world-class open pit, deposit ready to start right next to the mill. But that thing has massive upside to the 300,000 to 400,000 ounces model so far. Well, the other thing I noticed was the value that we're doing this round at, and obviously we're inviting everyone. We've got 2,400, over 2,400 investors now in our 6 companies, but the value at 138 million, yeah, yeah. So if you strip out the value of the Chancery stake and the value of the Liver shares, I think this is the current round is at $12 per EV to resource per ounce. $12 for a fully built mine, fully built mill, everything mines. I think a lot of explorers are trading on much higher values than that, let alone developers that are all trading at $200-300 an ounce now. So yeah, we're all about giving big upside to our investors, aren't we, Eric? And we've done it before. Like look at Gold Road; it's coming out the gates probably at an 8x when it lists in June in on Oslo. Well, the guys who backed us on Tucano, wow, I think that's going to be a phenomenal success when that lists in July. And I know Tucano are very busy with that listing, and also the Liver starts trading in the next week or two. We were doing that round at 50 cents only 2 years ago, and now I think it starts its journey probably at $2.50 to $3, and even at $3, there's only 90 million shares out, a 4 million ounce resource in Finland. Uh, it could easily be a $5 or $10 stock. So yeah, I'm very proud of finally our group starting to go list on all of our gold companies. Pilar's going to take longer than the rest, but that's why Enrique's here to do that job to turn this into a $1 billion company.
And of course, that all bodes well for Chancery as well, which is another big project of ours.
Oh,
So, yeah, it is very exciting times.
well,
Sometimes I have to pinch myself when I wake up in the morning.
Eric, talking of Chancery for a minute, because obviously there's been some pretty interesting M&A acquisitions in the last month, haven't there, Enrique? Enrique's obviously has been helping a lot on Chancery since he joined us 6 months ago. But Versamet bought SK Creek 10,000 ounce GEOs for 360 million US for a mine that starts production in 12 months. So they're valuing that at 36 million per 1,000 ounces. And then the one that really I kind of was very surprised about was when Elemental bought Vizsla Royalty last week for 340 million Canadian for a mine that's not permitted. That's probably in. They had that very sad incident with the geologists that were murdered on site there only recently with Vizsla Silver. So there's some crazy money being paid, and yet Chancery's put together two big royalties. One being obviously Pilar, the 8% royalty, and Pilar receives a third of this company in exchange and has received that. And the other being Kefi. And by the way, Eric, great interview with Harry last week on your show. Yeah, Harry's going to turn this into something truly special, and we have a 4.8% royalty with a cap of 48,000 ounces, and then a 3.2 percent tail. And it was Enrique here, and he did all that negotiation with Harry back at Christmas, wasn't it, mate? So, um, yeah, really excited about Chancery and where it's heading, and we'll have a link for you if you want to. I mean, the current valuation is 1/8 per a price to NAV. And actually, you can talk about that because you ran the model, Enrique, for Chancery on the valuation. I mean, the numbers that it's spitting out in terms of value is crazy, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, Jeremy, just remembering everybody here that we're just considering the most conservative cases for all of our projects, including Cafe. And we're not getting crazy about the gold price that we are implementing as an assumption. So it's far below the current gold price. Even despite the recent bottoms of gold, our conservative case, it's even lower. So I believe there's immediate value creation from Chancery. And well, Eric has interviewed Harry. You know how exciting Kaki and two Capi project is. We have talked about Pilar Gold. We talked back in the day, Eric, right, about Baxton when we had Lester on the show. I mean, it's just very exciting with live, well, all of our projects, Jeremy. I mean, it's a fantastic group and it's been created very quick. I mean, I really love the way that we work.
Yeah, we really move fast, don't we, guys? Like we don't muck around, and we're a handshake kind of group that when we say we do something, we do it. And I think the management teams reciprocate. I think Harry loved the way we moved so quickly on Kefi. Didn't tie him up with months of due diligence and endless legal and very prohibitive costs that often royalty companies put on their clients. So yeah, the reason I talk about Chancery for Enrique as CEO of Pilar is that Pilar now owns 12.5 million shares of Chancery, current round of $3, and I think that's gonna, even if you were to put it on a one to price to NAV, Enrique, it's probably a $12 US a share. I'm guessing here, mate. You've got the numbers, but it's $12 a share. So very valuable stake for you to hold and to as a blocking stake, because I'm 100% sure that Elemental or Versamet or one of the guys is going to have a swing at Chancery when we list in Q3, and we've got some exciting news, haven't we? We're going to announce the listing vehicle next week for Chancery as well. So yeah, another another listing. It's kind of funny, right? Like I would have thought when you've got six companies in the portfolio, and you've got Liva, you've got Gold Road, Tucano, Chancery, and obviously Pure Tungsten. You've got five of those that are actually going to list this year, and then Pilar is we're saving the best to last with Pilar. So really, yeah, I think things couldn't be better. And it's really, honestly, and Eric, you can back me up on this. It's the amazing support we get from the investors who back us on every transaction we do. Some of them invest in every deal. Some of them are new to us, and we're building their trust. And they make all of this possible, don't they, mate? All of this possible. It's been amazing.
We do have quite a few really loyal investors who've followed us across projects. My good friend Jeremy Willits is one of them. He's just one example of somebody who really has a lot of faith in us, has invested in multiple projects. Every time we come out with something, he's on the phone with me, asking me lots of questions about this one, this thing or that thing, about this particular project. So we do have an amazing group of investors, and a lot of them, but there are a handful that are just so loyal. They have so much faith in us, and they really believe in us, and it helps. It helps to have people believe in what you're doing, so that you're not. We obviously believe in what we're doing, otherwise we wouldn't be doing it. But when the investors show their belief as well, it just helps everything to go forward and to put a smile on everybody's face to know that you have the backing of those investors.
It also helps a lot, Eric, that we bought these mines at such a very low valuation. So we bought Pilar at $21 million. Yeah, a lot of money for us back in April 21. We owe Equinox another $3.5 million. They're very honourably taken a major haircut on the third payment, which was $23.5 million down to 3.5. That mine today the whole complex would cost probably 500 million, wouldn't it, Enrique, to build Pilar today? We bought Tucano for $3.7 million, and it came with 12. It came with $12 million of cash. Can you believe that? In November of 23, we bought probably one of the richest gold systems in Brazil, a proven performer. Best year it had was 180,000 ounces, average 140,000 ounces a year. No one wanted to buy it. Everyone thought we were crazy. We bought Gold Road for 2 cents in the dollar and had it producing in 6 months, listing in within 14 months of purchase. What else did we buy? Liver. Wow, Liver I remember we bought Liver October of 22, and the gold price was 16.20. The Ukrainian war was kicking off. The electricity price, do you remember, in Europe went absolutely crazy. And the first electricity bill was for care and maintenance in Finland was 130,000 euros or something just mind blowing. And everyone said we're crazy. And so to create value, to create real value for shareholders, you have to buy things when it's totally out of favor, when no one cares, and when people call you crazy. And that's why I think we're building a massive following, because we step in there early when no one cares, and we find money, and we have great shareholders to support and get us through the lean times so we can enjoy the good times. So, yeah, what a crazy journey it's been since we started. And Pilar's definitely, I think, the prettiest of the four gold mines we have. And yeah, really just phenomenal potential that it finally can deliver what we've always believed it can.
All of the ducks are finally lined up in a row for Pilar, for it to absolutely soar, and it's going to be there. There's no other outcome except for it to be a success at this point, especially at current gold prices. Even though people, say, oh well, prices come down a bit, we're it's still basing at around 4,500. So at these prices, regardless of where how long it takes to come back up, even though it's probably not going to be that long, we're still smiling. This is still the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And I think, Enrique, your cost structure, just remind what you think the all-in sustaining cost for both the underground and the open pit will be at Pilar.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a very good question. So we are talking about 1,500 cost for the open pit, $1,800 the ounce for the underground, Eric. So just to do a quick calculation here, if we are talking of 6 months bottom price for gold of $4,500 the ounce, we are talking about a 66% margin. That's so that's it. So just for everybody here to be clear about, because it's very easy to say or to see that the gold price is dropping, then hitting this $4,500 the ounce resistance. Okay, that means a 66% margin for us. It's simple. So, and by the time we are producing, we would be getting near the 6,000, 7,000 that Jeremy is very confident about, and I follow his gut here.
I mean, in the long term, there's nowhere else for it to go. We can all see global events and what's happening. We know what's happening with, sovereign debt crisis and, uh, panicking central banks and et cetera, et cetera. We don't need to get into all the geopolitics of it, but we all know what's happening, and we know that in the long term, there's only one way for precious metals to go, and that's up from here. So it's all fun and games from this point.
Well, you know, Eric, when we bought our first little mine in Brazil back in May of 19, the gold price was 12.50, and we used to get really excited when it hit 16.50. It's like, wow, here we go, you know. And then, of course, we went through that long period, very painful period of 1650 to 2000 that just got stuck
Yeah,
there for 3 years,
yeah.
didn't it? 3 or 4 years, and that was such a painful period. And now these pullbacks, as I was watching someone say the other day, you look at the dramatic moves, even in the 70s when gold went from 60 to 850,
Hmm.
was it, over that period? The big move was 1976, the summer of 76, up until the end of the peak went from 120 to 850. But they used to have really big pullbacks along the way, and remember that. And that's all we're in. We're in one of these little pullbacks. And you've been right, actually, Eric. I thought you were a bit too conservative. You've been saying basing it 4,500, and I said, that's gonna run before. But you've been right to be patient. And yeah, this is just another one of those pullbacks that we saw back in the 70s. And
Yeah.
yeah, but it's going to
In
move.
another couple of years, you won't even remember that we had this time where it came back down and it's basing, because at that point we will be at a price that if you mentioned it today, it would shock people, right? But in a couple of years, we're going to be there. And if anybody needs a real in-depth sort of overview of that, I highly recommend watching Mario's channel, Maneko64. He has some amazing guests on, and he always has a really good perspective and a great analysis on where things are going. And I completely agree with him. I think we all do.
There's been a couple of big Chancery royalty obviously is focused on royalties, but we do have a small gold fund that we're building inside because we want to be partaking in equity, placements. We actually bought two holdings last week, Soma Gold and West Red Lake, which is Frank Schuster's. Both have halved, more than halved. And I think they're going to be really smart acquisitions. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be a punt fund or anything, but we are purely a gold fund in a royalty group. And so two names that I'm watching, Soma Gold and West Red Lake, if you might want to have a look at those. They had huge pullbacks. Both of them missed production. It shows you in a market you can't miss, right? When a market's super frothy. So yeah, two names we picked up last week, and I think we'll stick with those holdings. And if we had significant funds, we'd probably be a lot more active on the Chancery side, building their sort of stakes, because we know our competition, we know the value that some of these other companies offer, and I think maybe that was the low last week when we'd made those acquisitions personally, and we have a very exciting announcement. I said this week, maybe next week, from a new royalty we've just purchased in Timmins in Canada. So you can update everyone next week on that, Eric.
We will definitely have an old gold episode to update everybody on the new happenings at Chancery, and that is one of many to come. This is what we do, right? We love to provide more value for our investors, especially the investors that got in early, at incredible prices. And all we're doing is just we keep adding value to it. So, and that's not going to stop.
The other theme is tungsten, and obviously everyone's picked up on the fact that the Chinese tungsten market has collapsed. Well, not collapsed. It's halved from the absolute highs of 320,000. And there's this quandary of why is it that in Europe the price hasn't changed? And that's a very interesting one. So if you look at names like Almonte, EQ Resources, they haven't really come off at all. A little bit, maybe 10%. And obviously, Eric, when you went to Korea, what a beautiful mine Pure Tungsten's Sanjong's is turning out to be. And yeah, really excited what Tiger's doing there. And yeah, again, that's one of our 6 companies. So thanks everyone again for their support on Pure Tungsten. But now we've done our job there in terms of fundraising. Our 100% focus is to get the funds for Enrique to turn Pilar into a world-class business. But also remember that we own over 6 million Live shares as well that start trading next week. So that might also be an important source of funds over the next 6 to 12 months to help further grow the business as well for Pilar. So couldn't be in a better place, I think, for Enrique to step in now.
Yeah, I've got utmost confidence, having known Enrique now since he came on board with our team. I have utmost confidence that he is the right man for the job. I think it's going to be nothing but smooth sailing ahead, really good times. Just exciting times all around.
If anyone's watching from Miami, Enrique's doing a roadshow next week in Miami. So just reach out and let us know if you'd like to meet.
Yeah. If anybody wants to have a chat with Enrique, have a coffee, a phone call. But yeah, if you want to meet up with Enrique while he's in Miami for a week, you can get a hold of us, and then we can let him know, and we can set something up. All right, guys. Is there anything else that we want to cover as far as Enrique's new role or about what we're doing at Pilar? If not, we can wrap it up.
No, I just want to thank you, Old Gold. Yeah, really proud of the appointment of Enrique to the CEO, and yeah, really, let's just march forward. The offering's open there. Click on the link. I think it's at an incredible valuation, given the stakes in Live and Chancery, and just give us a shout. Give Eric, Ed, Max, Jamila, myself a call, and also Enrique's available. We are always available, and I think that's the key differentiating factor about our group is we always will pick up the phone and happy to talk and you know any question is happy to answer.
Exactly, Eric. And just letting everybody, all of our viewers right now. Yeah, we are just at the beginning of this win streak, right? With all of our listing companies and looking forward to bringing some additional good news about Pilar for the following months. Again, I will pick up the phone myself. Just don't be afraid to contact me or the team. And we are more than happy to let you know everything that is going on at Pilar at the moment.
Excellent. Thank you, Enrique. Congratulations on the new title and the new position. I think you're going to be awesome. Thanks again, Jeremy, for I know you're busy, but you always cut some time out to be on the Old Gold, and I really appreciate that. And thank you to everybody who's watching. We really appreciate you. Without the viewers, we would have no channel. So thank you very much to all the investors who are watching as well. That's it for today's Old Gold. We will see you again next week, and we will continue to bring you updates on what we are up to. So until then, this is Old Gold signing off. We hope you have a great week, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.